Ignite your engines, you're on the grid with Motor Maven. Today we're diving into the world of electric vehicles, and it's not all sunshine and zero emissions. Despite the hype, EVs are not flying off the lots as expected. Instead, they're gathering dust at dealerships, causing a significant headache for those in the business. Let's delve into the 6 reasons why Ford and GM dealers are feeling the heat and crying out for assistance. Reason number 6, the EV market slows down, supply surges. The first pitfall in the EV journey is the stark imbalance between supply and demand. The growth of the EV market has hit the brakes. In previous years, we saw a staggering 90% year-over-year growth in the US. However, the past year has seen a significant slowdown, with a growth rate of just 47%. While this is still a respectable figure, it falls short of automakers' expectations. Consequently, EVs have yet to cross the 8% threshold of the total car market, a milestone that was anticipated to have been reached by now. With projections suggesting a further slowdown in 2024, the trend is clear. Meanwhile, Ford and GM have poured billions into new EV technologies and production facilities. Despite these projects still being in the pipeline, both companies have ramped up their production significantly. When we factor in this increase in production and the current growth rate, it's clear that supply has skyrocketed by 500% compared to just a year ago. This leads us to the next reason why dealers are sounding the alarm about an impending EV disaster. Reason number 5, EVs, difficult to sell and accumulating at dealerships. The imbalance between supply and demand in the EV market is glaringly apparent, with dealers bearing the brunt of the impact. As supply chains stabilized and production ramped up, dealers filled their lots with EVs, only to see sales plummet as demand cooled. Dealers are now left grappling with a surplus of EVs. Take, for instance, Nebraska's Baxter Auto Group and their experience with the all-electric F-150 Lightning last year. The launch sparked a frenzy, with over 200 refundable orders placed. However, as Ford struggled to meet demand and potential buyers became aware of the pickup's shortcomings, the list dwindled. The group of 20 dealerships managed to sell just 25 all-electric F-150s last year, compared to over 1,000 internal combustion F-Series models. Today, the dealer has 12 electric F-150 pickups in stock, and sales are sluggish. At the current pace, it will take at least 6 months to sell these 12 units, despite offering hefty discounts of up to $14,000, plus a $7,500 federal tax credit. Reason number 4, Ford and GM demand huge investments from dealers. EVs, the most transformative automotive development in a century, have necessitated hefty investments from dealers. Ford's EV eligibility program, for instance, demands substantial outlays for infrastructure and training. Dealers are shelling out between $500,000 and $1.2 million to qualify for selling EVs. However, with slower than expected growth, many are reconsidering these investments. The number of dealers willing to sell EVs has halved, and we suspect it's even lower now, given Ford's decision to delay some EV investments and the Biden administration's abandonment of its rapid electrification plan. GM's situation is even more dire. Struggling to sell EVs with its new Ultium technology, GM attempted to compel dealers to sell EVs, a move that backfired. Buick, for example, issued an ultimatum to dealers to invest $400,000 and start selling EVs or opt for a buyout program. Unsurprisingly, Buick lost half of its dealers in just the last year. Before we venture further, we'd appreciate it if you could hit that like and subscribe button. This supports us in connecting with more auto aficionados just like you. Now let's change lanes and navigate towards our next point. Reason number 3, GM's EV woes. GM dealers are far from happy with selling EVs, and their grievances extend beyond the difficulties of shifting inventory. The issues with GM's electric cars run deep, particularly with the new generation models based on the Ultium battery technology. It turns out that these EVs are not just piling up at dealers because they need time to sell. Models that have already been purchased are also accumulating, as dealers grapple with numerous issues and wait for feedback from the manufacturer on specific problems. GM's latest models have proven to be extremely unreliable. There are major software issues which have forced the company to revise and update its systems multiple times. These problems have become so severe that infotainment systems no longer support third-party services like Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Each new update is a nightmare for the staff, as it sometimes seems like not even the manufacturer knows how to resolve specific issues. This is just one part of the problem. Models like the Chevy Blazer EV and Cadillac Lyriq have shown such vulnerability that GM had to halt sales just a few months after their initial launch. Meanwhile, dealers are wasting their time and resources trying to fix these endless problems. Reason number 2, the salesman's dilemma. From a salesperson's viewpoint, the rise of EVs has complicated the once simple task of selling cars. With traditional gas-powered vehicles, a sale is often concluded in a single visit. A potential buyer visits a dealership, takes a test drive, and typically seals the deal within an hour. However, with electric cars, the process is far from simple, turning the sales experience into a daunting ordeal. EVs, being a cutting-edge technology, present a significant decision for buyers. They require time to acclimate to the new tech, test it out, and seek answers to a multitude of questions. This translates into multiple dealership visits before they make a final decision. We've previously mentioned Buzz Smith, a former salesman turned EV dealer trainer, whose insights are worth revisiting. He highlighted that while gas-powered car buyers typically complete the purchase in a single visit, the journey with EVs is entirely different. On average, electric car buyers make 4 visits before finalizing the purchase. This means that salespeople have to invest 4 times more time to earn the same commission, effectively volunteering to take a 75% pay cut. This stark reality underscores the challenges faced in the EV market. Reason number 1, the absence of dealer markups. While many reasons justify dealers' resistance to EVs, we must also consider profit margins. If you cast your mind back a few years, you'll recall a significant disruption in the supply chain due to COVID-19 and the Ukraine war. Automakers were producing fewer vehicles than usual, while demand was sky high. In essence, dealers were having a field day. Take, for example, Ford models like the Mustang Mach-E or Maverick. Dealers were selling these cars well above the MSRP, so even though overall sales were low, dealers were raking in record-high profits. However, now that supply chain issues are resolved, the era of massive markups is over. Dealers can no longer make easy money on the hottest models. And the biggest problem of all is that there are no hot models among electric cars at the moment. Supply significantly exceeds demand. Market day supply is at a record high and lots are overcrowded. In short, EVs are not the hot ticket item they once were, which means there's no room for markups. Furthermore, companies are forced to offer massive discounts just to sell their current inventory. You can imagine the level of enthusiasm dealers are showing towards electric cars. Thank you for tuning in to Motor Maven. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay in the loop with the latest vehicle updates and upcoming videos. See you next time.